The only child of Loki that I've yet to cover in a video is the 8-legged horse Sleipnir, the son of Loki and the stallion Svadilfari. Sleipnir is most famous for being the horse that Odin rode into battle during Ragnarok, as well as whenever he ventured to the realm of Hel. The horse is mentioned in both of the Eddas as well as in some of the sagas that followed. It's also mentioned that he was the best of all horses, which is a fairly vague statement, but one can assume that it refers to his speed and loyalty. Now, it may seem odd to say that Loki is Sleipnir's father, because Svadilfari is a stallion, a male horse, so technically he has two fathers. But the real question is, how does a male Jotun and a male horse have a child? Well, Loki transformed himself into a mare, and then mated with Svadilfari, which in turn raises the question, why would Loki transform himself into a female to then have sex with a horse and give birth to another horse, with 8 legs? So one day this unnamed builder arrives in Asgard, and tells the gods that he can build them a huge wall to protect them from their enemies. In exchange, he asked for the goddess Freya's hand in marriage, as well as the sun and the moon. So, nothing major. The gods discussed this offer, and after some persuasion from Loki, they decided to accept, but only if the builder could build the wall in 3 seasons: the spring, summer, and autumn, with no assistance from any other man. The builder then only had one request, that he could use his horse to help him. This horse was the stallion Svadilfari, Sleipnir's father. As you may have guessed, the gods accepted his request, and it turns out that this is no ordinary stallion. As the builder began to make progress, his efforts were doubled by his horse, who was able to move twice the amount of rocks as his master, making the impossible task of completing the fortifications before winter quite possible. With a few days left before the end of autumn, the builder was on track to finish, and so the gods convened to discuss the issue. They concluded that it was Loki's fault, and if he did not find a way to stop the fortifications being built, then he would be sentenced to a horrible death. That night, as the builder and his horse continued working tirelessly, a female horse appeared out of nowhere, and Svadilfari began to give chase. The mysterious horse was indeed Loki in disguise. The builder then spent the entire evening chasing after his horse, meaning work on the fortification was delayed. This gave the gods enough time to realize that the builder was actually a Jotun, and upon this discovery, all promises were broken, and Thor was summoned. Thor then does what he does best. He took Mjolnir and smashed the giant's skull to pieces. After an evening of being chased, Loki then gave birth to Sleipnir, so we can assume that at some point Loki mated with the stallion to delay the fortifications and to save himself. So Sleipnir was born because Loki got himself into a situation where turning into a horse and having sex with another horse seemed to be the best way out of it. With that said, Loki is fairly eccentric and definitely doesn't have the most normal children, so let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Mythology and Fiction Explained.